I think that this is something that you prepare yourself for the entirety of the year. For me, obviously, I got traded here a little while ago, so it's been a bit of a change for me, but I'm excited to get going with the guys. I think that we try to bring a consistent mentality week over week of preparing, and that was the great thing about getting here in time for the preseason games and all three of them. Just getting into that mode of preparation day by day. And, you can't make things too big. I think that's one of the big things that I've taken away from my career so far is like you got to treat every opportunity like it's important, but if you've been treating practice like it's important, it's not too much of a departure.
When you think about just this defensive line and what it's capable of, like how excited are you to work with these guys, kind of like you just said, but just like the group itself, how is everybody kind of building that rapport?
Man, it's great. I think that we're a defensive line group that's extremely versatile. We have guys with different skill sets. Max is obviously a great player. Malcolm is a great player. Adam is a great player. We have guys all around that do different things extremely well, and everyone's very situationally aware as well too. So I'm excited to kind of just meld with those guys, and that's the cool thing about getting to meet and going out to practice and being able to talk to people, communicate. It just builds naturally. That's the great thing about football. You make friends pretty quickly.
Last one for me is this Patrick Graham's defense. Now that you've got the offseason under your belt, what have you noticed that stands out about what he kind of develops with you as a player?
Yeah, I think he trusts the guys to see what's out in the field and make calls and adjustments accordingly, right? So he gives us some kind of range of freedom within the scheme to play what we're seeing. So definitely appreciate the trust that he gives to his players, and we try to give it right back to him with effort and physicality.
Thomas, what do you think it was about your performance after shortly joining the team, getting elevated all the way to starter, heading into week one?
I think just for me is, again, I focus week to week on playing aggressive, playing smart football situationally, pre-snap reads, post-snap reads, and getting to the ball. So that's what I tried to focus on when I was in Philadelphia, and I tried to carry that over here, obviously with some adjustments with the new scheme and everything else, but that's me, that's how I play football.
What are your thoughts on Robbie Leonard, and how has he helped you so far since you've been in town?
He's been great, honestly. Robbie obviously is super, knowledgeable about the game. We've talked a lot about scheme, about what I was doing in Philadelphia, how I can bring some of that here, how to adjust certain things. And it's been great just kind of getting to interface with him about that because, again, like I said, super knowledgeable about the end spots, the tackle spots, the entire defensive scheme. So being able to kind of ration through, like, when should I make this specific move? If I'm seeing this formation, what should I look at? Has been great with him.
You guys have a deep rotation of tackles, defensive tackles, but a lot of those guys are on the younger side of things. Have you shared any kind of advice to them in terms of how they can improve in the league in general?
Absolutely. For me, like, technically this will be my third year on active roster, so I'm not the oldest dude either. I'm not Unk yet. I'm trying to get there. But what I've told them is just like pre-snap reads are so important, right? Being able to kind of know and lessen the amount of things that you're going to get based off the look is huge. So for them being able to key in on the back's offset, understanding where the ball could go, understanding situational football, right? The same way that you're going to line up on 1st and 10 against a run-heavy team is not the same way you're going to line up against a pass-heavy team on 2nd and 7, right? That sort of stuff.
Sorry, off the X's and O's, just wondering if you have a message for Raider Nation about week one, something that you anticipate, and something for the fans.
Man, I would just say this, look forward to us playing high-effort, intense, physical football, right? From down one to however long it takes. So I'm excited to kind of show what we've been working on and just play Raider football.
Milton Williams is a guy that you're familiar with. What is about his game that makes him effective?
Man, he's a great player. I just talked to Milt yesterday, actually. Try and get his jersey. We'll see. He's a great player, though, because I think that he's a great pass rusher in terms of his suddenness, side to side. I think that differentiates him a lot. And again, like, very, very smart player. I was just talking about pre-snap reads and being able to understand potentially where the slide is going to come to, whether it's going to be a rundown where you're getting double teamed, or whether you're going to get a cutoff block, whatever else. Like, we all kind of came up in that same system, so I think that he carries a lot of that awareness as well, which has obviously led him to a lot of career success, so I'm happy for him.
Are there any players, whether it's defensive line, other players on the defense that we should know about that people are maybe not talking about as much as they should?
Man, I'm not paying too much attention to the media stuff right now. There's so many guys. I think Malcolm Kuntz is going to be great. Tyree, AB, Jonah, I think are all great players. But, shout out to my boy from, college, Caillou Kelly. I'm excited to see him play as well. But I think we got guys all around the defense, you know, so I think you just got to keep your eyes peeled for everybody.
So you just brought up another question for me in terms of Caillou. We've been noticing him in practice, obviously, and I asked him yesterday, he kind of plays with the fire. Have you always noticed that about Caillou in terms of that drive and that energy he brings?
Absolutely, yeah, no, like one thing that kind of pops out is we were playing USC my senior year, his junior year, and I remember, I think he was covering Drake London, and I think there's a pass that was behind him, and then, you know, Caillou takes it to the house for 6. So I've kind of always noticed that about him. He's a playmaker. That's why he's been playing the way he is, and I'm confident that he's going to continue that.
What jumps out to you about Drake May's game?
Yeah, I think that for him, like, obviously very athletic, arm talent to be able to get the ball all the way around the field. So he's a guy that, like, is kind of a dual threat to an extent, right? He's got the arm to be able to go deep, but he's also got the legs to be able to, you know, get 50 yards if you're not having rush integrity and if you're playing like man defense and guys can't really get their eyes on him. So definitely a versatile threat and a challenge that we're, you know, preparing for, ready for, and excited about.